It's really good to see. Anytime now, YouTube. Hello, there we go. Alright, finally. There's a weird, like, minute delay from when I hit go live to when it actually seems like I go live. Anytime now. There we go. Welcome, chat. Welcome, folks. Meowdy partners. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, somebody did catch it. There is some cat ear fun along the way here. That is overexposed, but boop. Zol faceplates with cat ears. Meowzol, or I forget what they call it, but yes. So I saw this, and however much I am chasing grams on this build, this did not add that much weight, and I felt like Gene needed to be represented in the Trident build, so Zol, Meowzol, or whatever it is, it is. Is that a monster in the glass? No, it's my tea and the monster sitting in front of the glass. Meow burner ears for stealth burner. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I thought about doing it for the Cookie Cat Zero. I probably should have done it on the Cookie Cat Zero, like put cat ears, but Did somebody finally modify that for pre-release? No, but pre-release should use the same faceplate as far as I understand it. I've messed around with assembling pre-release. I think it should be the same. So we're gonna find out. I won't be soldering sequins in this stream. Not messing with that. Donut Cat has been a member for a month now. Awesome! Thank you for the support. Donut Cat has been a member for a month. Sounds like a strange Sawzall. Meowzall. Yeah, it does. Doom, welcome. Where is Jean? She is eating dinner. I just fed the kids right before stream so they wouldn't be begging all stream, so. I gotta clean this bench off a little bit. We're gonna work on assembling pre-release Zol for the Trident build. And I don't know how far we're gonna get with that because I can't fully assemble it off of the machine, and the machine needs to be torn down again. That's not going to happen on stream, but Vitali is sending another carriage over for it. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Pre-release is so much better. I've definitely seen some. I don't love it printing on supports, but as long as you go low and slow, it's fine, or it prints well. I printed it at 0.2mm layer height, and I wasn't thrilled with the results. Then I printed it at 0.1mm layer height. Gene, folks want to hear from you. Where you at? I heard her crying. Oh, there you. Genie Bean. But then I printed at 0.1mm layer height with a little additional support, and it turned out a lot better. So, have I seen the tweets on Seabor's new Trident kit? Yeah, they're all-wheel drive design. Interesting that they flipped the motors and it's 9mm. It's got a lot of things going on in that kit. I don't love the looks of it, but could be an interesting performer. Gene, you haven't seen the mouse, the earsies yet. He's got ears like you. He's got ears like you. Bonk. Okay. Yeah. And announcement next Wednesday. Wednesday, I don't know what date it is. Let me look. The 22nd. Wednesday. Is it seriously Thursday already? Jeez. Wednesday the 22nd. Well, of course it's Thursday. I'm streaming. Ay. My sense of time and days. Wednesday the 22nd, I will be on Modbot Army's channel. We will be streaming, starting our builds, that's what all this pile of parts is, of Milo, the CNC. So, the Milo CNC, you can see my color scheme for the build here. It's this kind of this is lime green ABS from Polymaker. It turns out a little more green. It's more of like a pea green, but yeah, more like a toxic green. Camera, yeah, that's a little bit better representation of it in the light there, but yeah. So going to do this. I think I might remix this yet and put some hexes on the face of the Milo. Undetermined so far. We shall see. My 2.4 all-wheel drive has flipped motors too. Reason for that is further from the bed, gets less heat. Makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, started printing up parts for the Milo this week. Daniel, Modbot, and I are going to be streaming our first stream. When we both start our Milo builds, we will do together. RH3D, welcome. Adrian, welcome. We're going to be doing our first stream together. Yeah, it's similar to a rat rig color. Not quite the same, but similar. Yeah, so we're going to be doing the first stream of our builds together and the last stream of our builds together. So we're going to each build it independently on our own time schedule, especially with me moving. I might have to move before the final stream, so we might have to delay. Unknown. Sven, welcome. Sebus, welcome. But anyway, yes. So next week, Wednesday, the 22nd of May, check out Modbot Army. Modbot Daniel's streaming channel, like Mandic Labs is my streaming channel. We will be live on there working on that. So I'm just gonna leave these parts here for now. They're not in the way. So, yee, Milo. And of course, I've been tweaking the designs a little bit. What's the yellow? It's not a yellow. It's it is lime green ABS. Lime green ABS from Polymaker. Yeah. So it's really weird. It's a yellowish green. I call it like a toxic green. Yeah. Aaron, welcome. Looks like Rat Rig ASA. It's a different color than Rat Rig. On camera, it doesn't translate quite right, especially your display might show it differently. Like the TV in front of me, it's closer to a Lulzbot green. It is closer to a Lulzbot green, yes. Rat Rig green is greener. This is a more yellowish. So, well, here. Yeah, like this is more Rat Rig green. This is more Lulzbot green, and this is what it is. It's lime green ABS from Polymaker, and this is pop green ASA from Polymaker. So, yep. Pop green is pretty good. I really like pop green, but pop green is the color I'm using on my Voron 0.1, so I wanted to use something different on the Milo. You know, wanted to try something different. So, all right, ZOL, the pre-release ZOL, experimental ZOL. If anybody's not familiar, pre-release ZOL, I printed this on the CookieCAD V0 in Polymaker ASA last night. It is a one-piece design. Instead of having a separate hot end mount and a separate fan duct setup, they're all integrated together and just have built-in supports. Gene is playing with random printed parts on the bench. So, Pedro, welcome. So, yeah. I'm going to work on assembling this and get these supports off of this thing. And the big support just popped right off in my hand. I barely even tried. Gene. The biggest support in the middle here is going to be... Gene just wants to build Milo. Yeah, she really wants to get to the Milo build. We'll have Gene on Modbot's channel, see how his audience likes that. Let's get this support for the hot end fan area out of here. Let me grab a pair of pliers. Boom. There we go. Thanks, Gene. Very helpful. Man, he helps. Could we not... You You don't always have to show your butt to the stream, kid. This design really does print very well. Though I wish they designed the supports, the inbuilt supports for like 0.1mm layer height. I think a lot of the details print better at that layer height. But, you know, I could remix the design. I just don't feel like it. All right. There's a big chunk of the supports off. Toddlers and cats, yeah. All right. And the biggest support that's a pain to get off is underneath the ducts here, because the ducts print up off the bed. There is a fair bit of support underneath there. Let's see if I can get under it. All right. It comes off pretty well for what it is. For how big of a support area it is and how much. Yeah, there we go. That came off pretty well. Boom. Boom. Printing at 0.1mm layer height and slowing down a little bit really helped clean this up a lot better than 0.2, I think. And I'm really happy with the print results over, for the most part. There's definitely some, like, artifacting. Can't really see on camera, I don't think, on this duct. I think I need to break in the motion system on the Cookie CAD Zero and maybe give it an adjustment a little bit yet, but it's okay. So, there is our main fan duct. IMO, all supports are proper if they can be snapped off with light plier work. Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Do you prefer the one-piece design? I know you want to try out different hot ends and such. Yes, but what I think I'm going to do... is... error. Brain fart. Assemble a couple of different pre-release saws, like this whole carriage set up for the hot end. So I'll probably... I have a couple extra hot end fans. I've got to get a couple of extra of the part cooling fans. And so from swapping one hot end to another, I'm just going to swap this whole carriage piece out. This whole housing when I do. So that's my thought process. As far as the faceplate, sure looks like it lines up. I'm just holding it in place, but everything looks to line up just right for this Meowsall. Bloop. We'll try assembling a little more as we go, but it looks to be pretty right. That's with the fan holes lined up. The top LED area is lined up pretty good. We won't know until the part cooling fans are on here, but I think it's going to work. So I might not put the LED behind the paw print, honestly. I want the nozzle LEDs, but I don't know if I feel like dealing with the LED behind the Mad Cat. Welcome, Gene's here. Hi, Gene. Gene, you got a hi. Yeah. So I don't know. I've got a pile of the sequins. All right, let me grab the hot end that's going in here first. The one I'm going to set this up with right away. Do you use Loctite on the frame of a Voron? I do. I use blue Loctite on almost every part of a Voron build. I use it on almost every screw. Any screw that's going metal to metal, I use Loctite. So if it's threading into a frame extrusion, if it's threading into a linear rail, if it's threading into a T-nut, or it's threading into a brass heat press insert, I use Loctite. Namely, the Permatex Blue, but lately I've been using this gel stick. It's a lot easier for application. Not on ABS though, not when threading into ABS. Yes, it can degrade the plastic. If it's threading into plastic, that's already acting as a Loctite agent, which most Voron builds at least don't really do that, other than one or two. Like, there's one or two pieces on the Voron 2.4 gantry that create a problem, but that's it. Is it acetone based? I have no idea. I don't know what chemical property it is that causes it to react, but it does. It's not gonna, like, I don't think it's acetone based because it's not a strong reaction. It reacts, but it's not like a you're gonna melt your parts reaction. If it can shake loose, it will, especially if you use gyroid infill. All right. Had a power cable over top of this box. Yeah, if it uses like the screws that screw in, yeah, not worried about that. But let me adjust this camera one step here. Oh, you're very helpful, Gene. That would have fallen if it wasn't for you. Maybe, sort of. Thanks, very helpful. So this is the hot end. I'm going to put in the Trident first. So this is what I've printed so far in the most recent pre-release ZOL. That's the only one I've printed lately. They updated pre-release like this week, so I just printed it like last night for this. It is a custom mosque. So it is a Volco mosque using a genuine slice Mosquito Magnum. So the frame and the heat break and the isolator are genuine slice engineering, Mosquito Magnum. And then they updated again. Yeah, they haven't updated. I put together an updated design. So the heater block is from Mello. This heater block is the lightweight design Volcano block from Mello that has the bolt pattern, the standoff spacings for use on a Dragon hot end or a Mosquito hot end. So what is the Triangle Labs? I forget. And it's a lightweight design. So this thing, I forget, I think I measured it at like, could we not chew on the wire? I think I measured this at versus a standard aluminum block. It's like 10 or 12 grams lighter than the previous hot end block that they had. And it uses the bamboo style flat ceramic heater element. So that helps with the lightweight. It's lighter than the typical cartridge and has thinner wires that are going to be easier to cable manage. And then the thermistor is this typical one that goes in through the top there. But why are so tasty? Yeah. Could we not? So it's a lighter weight design of Volco Mosque. And I've got a genuine Bondtech multi-bimetal like CHT nozzle in there right now. Just a 0.4. So that's what we're going to run first. I want to play with it, try it out, see how I feel about it. It's also significantly lighter than the Dragon UHF I have. That was the other front runner for what hot end I was going to put in here, but it's so much lighter than the Dragon UHF. Let me just check quick, just so I can tell you. Now the Dragon UHF, might want to continuity check the thermistor now. Yeah, the Dragon UHF does have a copper heater block. That has a copper heater block. It's 68 grams with heater cartridge and thermistor and nozzle. And the Volco Mosque with the new lightweight block with heater cartridge and thermistor and nozzle is 34 grams. So it is 34 grams lighter than the Dragon UHF. So the Dragon UHF may flow better, but it weighs so much more that I'm really curious to like what that's going to do performance-wise on this machine. So we'll see. I do intend to test both of them. I do intend to test both of them at some point, but yeah, we shall see. For right now, I'm just going with that. Extruder, somebody asked earlier. Armor 3D, welcome. Somebody asked earlier, extruder I'm using. Let's see if it's going to be way overexposed, probably. The Hextrudort, VZ Hextrudort. So, VZ Hextrudort, CNC aluminum machined component from Mello / the VZ team / Havort. So, yeah. BZ Hextrudort. They flow about the same from my experience. I've heard mixed things. Some people say the Dragon UHF flows better. Some say they flow pretty much the same. I'm thinking they'll be pretty similar. I think they should, but I measured the melt zones on the two of them are pretty much equivalent length. If you factor in the ceramic heat break melt zone portion, they're pretty much the same length. They're like within a millimeter of each other on overall length. So I think it's gonna be solid. I gotta disassemble this partially assembled previous one that I have. Oh, there's the old block. If anybody's not seen it, this is the original block that I was going to run for the Volcomosk. So this is the original, like what do they call it? Is it Triangle Lab has their clone of the Volcomosk, or their clone of the Mosquito. I forget. So okay, so somebody asked, the hot end we're going to use is a Volcomosk. It's a slice engine, NF Crazy. Thank you, NF Crazy. That's it. So this is the heater block for an NF Crazy, the original heater block, and it looks like it's cut down, but it is so much heavier than the one. Like, I think this heater block is probably almost as heavy as this whole hot end. This is copper though, so, and this is aluminum. But I'm really not worried about it. Like, aluminum would be good to 300 Celsius. I'm not looking to print nylon on this machine, really. It's probably just going to be an ASA all-day work beast. So, yeah. I just need a machine to keep up with my my work. And I think this is probably going to get the job done. So, the Slice Engineering Mosquito Magnum plus a Volcano block. That's what we're running, the Volcomosk. That I put together myself, not the official one or anything like that. So, okay, I gotta get these fans off of here. As more people are joining in here, if you missed it earlier, I announced we're going to be working on the LDO Milo build next week, next Wednesday, with Modbot Army, the Modbot Army YouTube channel, his streaming channel. We're going to be working on both of our builds together. So both of our builds together to get started anyway. Strongly considering a Milo, but you live in a small apartment. That's difficult. I'm really not looking forward to running the Milo in the studio while I'm working, but that's life. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Realistically, I'm not gonna get to run the Milo until we get to the new studio, so I will get to decide where it lives and all of that in the new studio. So Cascade. Why is that familiar and I can't remember what Cascade is now? I'm blanking. Totally blanking on Cascade. Oh, these fan ducts for the original. Oh, Voron CNC. Right. Voron CNC. I included that in a video and I forgot about it. I'm already building the Milo, so, you know, maybe I'll play with a Cascade at some point, but for right now, I'm going to get the Milo, you know. So this is the original multi-piece ZOL design. So get that off of there for the 4010 that I'm going to be putting into the the experimental pre-release ZOL. Fit in the side of there. So much happening in this space lately. Evening, Carrie. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, there is so much going on. It's hard to keep up with this stuff. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like I'm falling behind in the same regard. Like, it is what it is, you know? That's all you need. Milo looks better for upgrades to the spindle compared to the Voron option. Yeah, the spindle mounting isn't too dissimilar on the Voron one, I don't think, but I can understand that thought. Honestly, I really like the way the Milo looks. It reminds me of a baby Bridgeport. It's a knee mill, you know, and I come from metalworking as my background, and so it just feels natural to me to get like a knee mill design. So I'm getting rid of, with the move, I'm getting rid of my drill press, and I'm going to try using the Milo as my drill press for a while. I rarely use my drill press, so I think it should be solid, you know? I'd expect Zol to have a lot more airflow than the standard stealth burner. It supposedly does. Supposedly Zol has a fair bit more airflow, yes. That is one of the goals. One of the goals is improved part cooling with Zol. So you got these well-designed, pretty well-designed ducts with a pair of 4010s instead of a single 5015. Single 5015, you're looking at what, like 4 CFM? I think these flow 2.5 to 3 CFM each. I've got the Honey Badger fans. From Fabrico. That's axial, no. P series. I forget which ones I got. I think I got the 9200 RPM ones, or 9500 RPM, which are rated at 2.85 CFM. So, like, you're looking at almost 6 CFM with a pair of these. The 12,000 RPMs are over 3 CFM each. I just didn't really listen to them, so I went with the lower ones. I'm also going to be running this machine is getting dual auxiliary part cooling fans, so a pair of 120mm blower fans blowing across the bed for curtain cooling. So I'm not too worried about like running a slightly lower RPM fan for part cooling when I'm going to have a pair of auxiliary fans, you know. All right, hot end into here. Oh, my neck. My neck just went pip pop quite a bit. I had a 75 30 on my Ender 5 Plus. I had a 75 30 on my Ender 5 Plus for quite a while. That was some part cooling. That thing was a hairdryer. And actually, that exact same 7530 is now a auxiliary fan inside of the Cookie CAD V0. I used it in the Cookie CAD 0 as part cooling, or auxiliary part cooling. I'll be running CPAP on another Voron 2.4 soon. So I'll be running CPAP on a 2.4. It's actually surprisingly quiet. That 7530 is surprisingly quiet. It was louder on the Ender Ender 5 because the ducting restricted it more than the auxiliary cooling does on the 0. My K3 has approximately 41 CFM on the tool head. Produce actual thrust. That is some air. That is moving some serious air. Well, you have the CPAP from BTT. I want to get it. I got to reach out to them and see if they can get me one, because I really want that control. I like being able to just plug to a fan port and just send G-code to it and have no problem. I'm really liking that idea. I've already got the CPAP fan from Mello, so I don't need that. I'm just got to reach out to Big Tree Tech about providing the controller board. I don't think it's available yet. I got to hit up Luke and ask. All right, where did I just put the screws for this? I think these are them. I'm mixing up my 2.5 screws, I think. Yeah. Cheetah Kid, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So, tighten that in for our Volco Mosque setup. All right. Nice ducting through here, or passageways for the wiring to pass through, for the fans and the hot end and the thermistor. So, nice updated design versus the early, excuse me, earlier iterations of XOL. Ay, ay, ay. My voice is stressing out today. Vocal spray. Help lubricate my vocal cords. That's not weird. All right. So we got the Volco Mosk mounted in here. I didn't use Loctite on these screws. I'm going to go back and do so. Put a dab of Loctite on these. Gene, are you having fun just sitting there, baby? There we go. Little dabble do ya? Little dabble do. There's that. The other one out. Put a little dab on that too. Especially these screws you're not going to be able to access very easily later. The furry design is a true innovation. Yes, the fuzzy skin has really come a long way. Fuzzy skin has really come a long way, you know? All right. All right. Now, part cooling fan. Want to route the wire for the part cooling fan. Cat ears absolutely will make the printer go faster. They will 100% be integral to our design. All right, I got to feed this wire through here. I might have to depin this connector to get it in here. You know what? There's space behind the fan. There's a little relief here, I think, that should allow the wire to pass through. Maybe that's what it's for. Aaron, welcome. Welcome. Yep, sure enough. That'll work. Cool. Wire fit through there. I can feed it up through the cable management. My printers are always covered in cat hair. So are mine, Carrie. So are mine. I wonder why. Made a fuzzy Cali dragon. I honestly don't remember the last time I used fuzzy skin on anything. I like never use it. Never have reason to. Never have reason to. Love the new XOL pre-release. Yeah, I'm really liking this coming together. Jermaine, welcome, welcome. Oh, right. Jackass. I didn't put the heat press inserts in. I did print the heat press insert version, but I didn't put any in. Let's correct that. Let's correct that. Some 2.5 heat press inserts. There we go. Get the right tip. Don't play with that. Not for you, kid. Finishing up the accent parts for your positron build. Rad. I hope to. I should have a video on positron on this channel, hopefully this week. Prefer concentric or Hilbert curve patterns versus fuzzier ironing. I do too. I personally adore Hilbert curve for accents. The blip. It's probably really hard to tell, but there is Hilbert curve on the face of this. So all the top layers, the ears, the paw print area, and the blue all have Hilbert curve on them. So, as does the face of my Milo. Hard to tell. Again, it's there. And the little hand wheels. I put a little black ring on the hand wheels, and they are also Hilbert. So, I go overboard when it comes to Hilbert curve, and I don't care who calls me out on it. All right. Heat press insert these in. One. What's Hilbert curve? It's a different type of infill that prints in a... also Hilbert curve helps warping. Yeah, that nice slow first layer, you can't help but slow down. So, here, I'll share real quick. Actually, wait. I might have pictures on my Instagram that will show it. No, I want to see my account, not my story. No. Curious to try that new infill pattern. I was playing with it this week. So far, so good. No idea about strength, but it's definitely a lot easier on a machine than... It's a lot easier on a machine than gyroid. I'll say that. A lot easier on a machine than gyroid is. But then I was having trouble with... I use gyroid as well. Crosshatch, that's it. Yeah, crosshatch. I was having trouble with 2.1, the nightly build of Orca Slicer, so I went back to 2.0. Really wish devs would add, the XOL devs would add the pre-release CAD. I think, oh yeah, it's not there. Or is it? I think it might be there now. Is it not? I've got it pulled up here. CAD, parts. Oh yeah, it's not there yet. Yeah, the folders are empty. Me too, because honestly, like these heat press insert holes are a little too small in my opinion. I think they're a little small diameter. And if I had the option, I would open them up like 0.05 or 0.1 millimeter, because I'm pressing like a lot of ooze out from them, where they are pushing a lot of plastic out of the way as they're pressing in, and I don't care for that. I don't care for that. So if I could, I would love to modify this, but here we are. I also just don't like to leave anything the hell alone. I mess with everything. Bye, Gene. You want to get down, kiddo? Here. There you go, baby girl. Armchair doesn't design with shrinkage in mind. Yeah. And I somewhat understand that. I don't really either, honestly. I don't particularly either, and I find like Polymaker ASA doesn't shrink a ton on small parts. On big parts, it does. On like a big, bed full part on the ASA, it shrinks a fair bit, but eh. So, I was running into all kinds of weird issues. Can't leave well enough alone, gang. That's me. I am Captain frickin' nothing left stock. Like I said, my Milo, I've been tweaking every single part of the Milo so far. It's not like I'm making any major changes, just like, you know, my own personal taste. Just reshape this boss around it with my fingers. That's okay. I know. You know, Aaron, we were just talking about that earlier in the chat. There's so much stuff happening right now. It's so hard to keep up. And me, with the move impending, I've got no time for anything. I've got the Milo build. I've got the FL Sun S1 on the way. Hardest part of printing, waiting for the bed to cool before removing parts. Don't. I rarely do. I personally rarely wait. I really need to order a handful of beds so I can like swap them around. I crack off prints hot all the time and go right on to the next one. I'm hard on PEI beds. Who needs fingerprints? I've already got asbestos hands from working on cars, you know. Wait until the bed's around ADC? Nah. Just use your fingers and just hot plate it, you know. Real quick. Ugh. Just real quick, get it to a surface that can handle the heat, and you're good. Yeah, I am real bad about that. I have ruined plenty of bamboo beds. Even like pretty good quality PEI ones, I get bubbles in them eventually from cracking off prints hot. I'm so bad about that. I really need to invest in like, one day I just need to sit down and order like 2 or 3 sheets for all of the machines I use so that I can like at least not crack the print off before it's, you know, done cooling down. Not that pulling it out and letting it rapidly cool is really much better. Not that that's really much better. All right. I think that's almost all the heat presses. I also forgot that you got to slide an M3 nut in here. Slide an M3 nut down in the side here. Woo! Ha! As I touch a hot heat press insert with my finger. I was just talking about asbestos hands. Come on. Ah. Trying to push this thing in here is not going so good. I've got asbestos hands, you've got fibromyalgia. I should probably be concerned about having asbestos hands, I guess, yeah. Where's my little hammer? Tippy tap this in. Bit of a tight fit on this M3 nut sliding into place. Let's tap it in. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. Slid right in once I give it a 1 or 2 taps with a tiny hammer. Alright. Now I can put this fan in. Now I can put this fan in. Tev, Chow, welcome, welcome. Welcome into the chat. And now my heat press inserts deformed the standoffs a little bit. Super deformed hammer, yeah. It's the silliest hammer that I thought. I kept it as a joke when I found it somewhere. I literally found it, kept it as a joke, and it's probably the hammer I use the most these days. I found a lot more use for it than I ever expected to, that's for sure. I gotta clean up the deformed plastic to put these fans in. The boss is deformed a bit from this process. From the pressing process. Get in there. You can tell they definitely intended you to build the non-heat insert version of this. I don't like threading into plastic. I just don't like threading into plastic. In we go, in we go. Yeah. I think this is the only project we're going to be streaming until I move. Is this build. Getting this one done, tuned in maybe, hopefully. I don't know. But then we're going to have a handful of machines on stream too. Between the new FL Sun, as Carrie said, I got to make a wing in the studio just for that machine. So it seems. The new FL Suns, and then the other tiny machine, the Rat Rig, should be on the way. I haven't gotten confirmation whether that's shipped or not, but it should be here soon. The Rat Rig V-Core 4. We'll play with that on stream. The CPAP in the S1 is loud. Yeah, I've heard that as well. CPAP in general is just usually loud. Some are better than others, but I guess the one that they got in the air, they don't care. We'll find out. I'll have to turn down this. You gotta find a place to do the frame on yours, on your 500. Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm not going to build my 500 until after the move. Like, there's no reason for me to move that thing. Get in place. Those bosses deformed so much from this heat pressing that the fan doesn't want to sit down into its place now. Come on. What's holding this up? Yeah. Rat Rig V-Core 4 500 will be my end game. If I recall, I can do IDEX pretty easily. Yes. It's got the hybrid Core XY, but you can easily convert it to... Because the hybrid Core XY basically uses the very similar motion system to IDEX. And so it's pretty straightforward swap to the IDEX setup on that. I will be building a hybrid 500mm, and then hopefully eventually converting it to IDEX, unknown. I need a large flat surface. Yeah, that is a problem. The next studio is getting a bigger workbench. This workbench way too small. This workbench is way too small. For that machine anyway. Jose, welcome, welcome. So, next studio, bigger workbench. For sure. I gotta shave the heck out of this boss to get this fan in here. Not loving this. Get in place. God, that deformed so much. And a special cat seat. Cat seat's coming. Cat seat's coming. Hopefully that did it. I'm gonna end up taking this boss for it screws in right off. Till I get it. Oh, almost there. Almost there. I'm basically down to the heat press insert. Taking so much of the wall of this away because of how much it ballooned out from inserting. Ay, ay, ay. I can tell where their time is spent, and it's not on heat press insert version. There we go. Finally in place. Finally in place. All right. I think these screws are way too long. I gotta get some shorter M2.5s. I've got them here somewhere. Let's get the other side fan in, and then I'll locate my screws. My screws are loose. I gotta deal with that. I'm just gonna, right off the bat, shave the heck out of this other side. Good to know. Seems like RatRig VCore 4 is more fleshed out. I agree. I think they've really paid some attention to fleshing it out a bit better. Hopefully it works out. Yeah. I hope it works out. I hope so. We're going to find out when we build the 500, play with the other one, the 300 soon. Cat seat on a sit-stand desk, wouldn't that be like a barber chair? Yeah, I guess it kind of would be. Wish it was a VCore 4 you're building. Yeah. Unfortunate timing, Aaron. But, yeah. I was so close to pulling the trigger on a 3.1. I was so close to pulling the trigger on a 3.1, 500 millimeter. And then RatRig told me the VCore 4 was coming, and I said, okay, never mind. Didn't pay for it, so it's fine. Okay, well, that's reasonable then. That's fair. Oh, it's for a print farm. Ah, got it. Darn. Darn, darn, darn. Okay, where's the second fan? Where did I just put it? I had 2 fans here. I know I did. Got so many Zols on this bench. 4 of them. Where'd I put the second fan? I might not have pulled it out of the box yet. It might still be in with the rest of my stuff. Maybe the Doron Velta. I really want to build a Doron Velta. I really want to. I ordered the effector arms, or the whatever you call them, actuator arms or whatever. I ordered those. And I'm going to see what pieces I have to just build one. I'd like to build one with just like the extra pieces I have in the toolbox. So we'll see. Won't be happening soon, but hopefully. There's the second fan. It's in this box. This box. Cool. Oh, and there's another Zol, another pre-release. Will the Voron Delta be an official Voron? No. No, it's not. Actuator arms are motorized. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, excuse me. No, the Doron Velta will not be a official thing. It's not part of the, like, the folks who designed it aren't part of the Voron team. To my knowledge. You know, I could be talking about ass. I don't know. I'm not part of the Voron team. I don't know. I just hang out with those folks at shows, and then I go home and don't have to worry about it again. Wasn't designed by somebody on the team? I don't know. I forget who designed it. It's not Double T. Thiago was part of it, yes. Double T was part of it. Like the one that was on display at Rocky Mountain was built by Thiago. And given to, I believe, given to Hector Fabrico. Let's look. It was not his design. I think he had part in it, but it was not his design. Doron Velta. Roger LZ. Rogerio Goncalves. Sorry, I am fucking butchering that name. Sorry, cursing too. Yeah. So Roger LZ on... Oh. I know who this is. I think he is actually loose. He is part of the Voron team. I'm wrong. He is part of the Voron team. One of the Portuguese members, I believe. One of the members in Portugal. I met him and hung out with him a little bit at Smurf. That's Smurf. I believe that's who it is. So close on this fan. Brazil, I think. He's in Portugal now, I believe. I think he's from Brazil, but in Portugal now. I know his wife was from Brazil, but they live in Portugal currently. If I'm thinking of the same person, I'm fairly sure I am. There we go. All right. That was annoying, but I got the fans in. Fair bit of shaving the heat insert bosses, but I got them in. All right. Okay. Now, the 25mm fan that actually cools the hot end. Yeah, Jean. What? She's just sitting on the floor next to me. Just sitting on the floor next to me, chittering away like she does. All right. These hot end fan wires through here. All right. Cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna see how the faceplate fits. I think the faceplate's going to be sitting off a hair bit because I didn't shave down the bosses from the squeeze out. Give the cat a heated bed. Watch out soon. Watch out soon. Ah. Hint, hint. And faceplates are over there. The ones I'm going to use. All right, faceplates we're actually going to use. I printed 6 of these at this point. Cat ears coming out everywhere. Ah. Cat ears coming out everywhere. All right. Because this one, the first time I missed supports. I didn't have any supports for the logo area. And I think it needs them. The cat paw logo. The paw print. Really needs a little love, a little support. Alright. Now we can put the faceplate on. A little hairy. It's a little hairy. It's almost like there's cat hair in there. Get some of this gunk out of here. Wispies. Alright. Alright, alright. Now. Faceplate screws. I should look for my M2.5 hardware real quick. 1 second. Big box of hardware. Big box of hardware. This is stuff that hasn't gotten sorted yet. I know there's 2.5 in here. I know there's 2.5 in here. Yeah. I've just got to find it. I know it's here. 3, 5. Got enough M3 and M5 for ages. As everybody does. Having ChatGPT write code for ESP32 is kind of wild. Yeah. I've been using ChatGPT for my taxes this week. And it has been a gigantic help. Saved me so much time. Carrie, welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you stopping by as always. And I appreciate it. So good night. Have yourself a good rest and a good rest of your week. Thank you for stopping by. Do I have enough hardware? There's never enough hardware. As I'm digging right now, trying to find the particular hardware I need. I need more 2.5. I've been using 2.5 more and more lately. I don't have enough of it. Coffee Squirrel, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Have yourself a good one as well. Oh, what the heck? Oh, it's on the bench behind me. I can see it. Now that I wasted that time, this is why I gotta organize my hardware better. M2 and 2.5. Here's 2.5. All right, 2.5 by 8. Haven't had luck with ChatGPT for code, but CircuitPython was too recent for it. Oh, this particular code you were using, yeah. I have no code experience, so I can't speak to that. All right, M3 by 8s. Reckon within a year there'll be legislation preventing it from doing tax stuff. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's probably questionable of me to let it do that stuff. But it's... Why do you always seem late? Well, you're here anyway. That's all that matters, Fuzzy Tomato Head. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I would not be shocked by that. But what I use it for is categorizing and sorting my transactions and admit it on stream. Whatever, it's not illegal. Now, it's not like I'm putting in my social into the damn thing. No way I'm doing that. But I do use it to like sort transactions and help me put them into markdown tables so I can put them into spreadsheets really easily. So, can I make a 3D printer do my taxes? You figure that out. You let me know. You're graduating with a bachelor's degree in molecular biology and a minor in chemistry. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Sounds like that degree has gone to excellent lengths and going to do you wonders. It's a formatting process, just a tool. Totally. I mean, and that's really it, is like my bank statements or whatever are just not in a format that is easy to put into a spreadsheet. It's just it. They're not. And so like I can feed it a PDF. It doesn't know anything but numbers. Working on XOL. Yes, XOL for the HotRod Trident. Yes, yes, yes. And it gets the job done. You know? That's what I need. Save me hours. I used to do that stuff by hand. I would sit there, transaction by transaction, just adding machine, go, go, go. And it would take me a couple of days to do my taxes that way. And this process this year has taken me like a few hours in comparison. The 2.4 and the 0 look cool together, yeah. Just, well, yeah, I understand the statement that there'll be legislation about it. It's totally to protect the tax preparers that will happen. Oh, I miss the idea of getting a tax return. Self-employment. Self-employment is also proving to be terrible for trying to find a place in Portland. Trying to find a new home to rent is proving oh so fun with taxes. Oh, so fun. Everybody's like, send a W-2 to prove your income. I'm like, I don't have a W-2. Pre-release ZOL looks considerably better. So far, it is so much easier to assemble. The heat set insert version needs a lot of work, IMO, but hey, that's okay. It's working. All right. Screw in the fan and the face. And we can put the extruder assembly on, and then we might be done for this and move on to electronics. Decide as we go here. Why are you not threading? Can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Have I looked into archetype yet? Yeah, I looked into it a bit. It really neat because I was looking at options for what I'm going to use the tube on. You know, I was looking at what options I had for running the tube on a machine. And I kind of came down on error. I was looking at running one of the archetypes with tube. I don't feel like doing a whole flipped gantry and everything, you know. I think ZOL for the Trident anyway is going to be what I want. And then the next 2.4 I'm building. Why are you not threading in nicely? The next 2.4 that I'm building is getting a stealth burner as well. So I don't really have a home for either the tube or the or an archetype build. Recently on stream we talked about maybe putting the tube in the Ratrig V-Core 4 500. I might play around with making up a Ratrig toolhead for tube. We'll see, we'll see. That machine could absolutely benefit from it. Your next 2.4 should be tap stealth changer. Nah, I am never running tap. I have no interest in running tap. Wouldn't the tube have more flow over the Volco Mosk? Yes, it should, in theory, have more flow. The Rick, welcome, welcome, welcome. It should, in theory, have more flow. Yes. The thing about it is, it's also significantly longer. The tube... Tube is a big boy. Can't wait for beacon contact, and that is what I am waiting for. Getting rid of tap once beacon contact comes out. Yep, that. Let's change out this. Change camera angles. Okay, here is, let's look at it from the back so you can see the Volco Mosk a little better. There's the Volco Mosk. Volco Mosk, and then tube. So I would lose, trying to fit tube onto this build, I would lose another 10 millimeters of build volume, probably. I haven't done the exact math, but I would lose another handful of millimeters. It'd be nice if I could find the middle of this frame. I would lose a fair bit more build volume, and I just don't want to. I'm already losing build volume with the Volco Mosk on Z-axis, so I don't want to deal with it. On the Ratrig V-Core 4 500, it'll be a 500 millimeter machine. So, you know, I'm not too worried about losing 5-10 millimeters on that. So, but yes, the next build, the Trident build, probably my main Voron 2.4 right here, and the next Voron 2.4 are all getting beacon. So, because beacon touch, after I saw beacon touch on display at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, I am sold. And I want that on everything. I want to put that shit on everything. I wonder if Eddie will be able to use it with a software change. Probably. I'm sure that the other versions of that stuff will be modded to use it quite soon. BTT should license that. That would be a cool move on their part. No idea about that. Any idea how the beacon touch sorcery works? I have my understanding of it. I have my understanding of it that I don't know how well to explain it. I've tried. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Here's my understanding of beacon touch. I don't really need this for visual representation, but I'm pulling it out anyway. So, beacon probe. Bloop. Beacon probe scans your bed, you know, scans all over your bed. What it does for nozzle probe, or beacon contact as they're calling it, what it does is, to my understanding, it gets closer and closer to your bed. As it does, it sees the scanner is reading the distance to the bed, and it's reading the distance to the bed getting closer and closer. When your nozzle contacts the bed, the millisecond of stoppage, the millisecond that it detects that stop, it detects that the probe is no longer getting closer to the bed. And all it needs is that split second of contact to know that it's no longer moving. And then it says, we've stopped, that's contact, done. Yeah, it detects that very split second of contact and then says, okay, we stopped moving, that's it, that's zero. That's my understanding of it. It detects that stop of motion, but it's not like tap even. It's not even the pressure of tap. It's just the ever so slightest touch of the nozzle to the bed. So it shouldn't leave impression. The other end of this is open. I cut it open and I didn't have to. I keep putting it in here, it's just falling out. Precise rate change detection. That sounds like a pretty good descriptor of what's happening. Yes. It's detecting the rate getting close, the rate of change getting closer, boom, stopped. 20G actuation force. I know it's the actuation force is low enough that they've done it on an egg, on glass, so. They've done it on squishy stuff too. I don't know. That was my understanding of it. I could be totally wrong. That was my understanding of it. I should have asked 1,000 more questions, but I was just blown away by it when they did surgery on a grape. Tap is like 500 gram. Whew. Sounds like metal detector. Kind of, sort of, but not. Yeah, the beacon still does need to detect the surface under it, but... Okay, taking this extruder mount off. Here's the new extruder mount I'm actually using. Gets a couple of M3 nuts in there. I don't need to do that right now. First time catching live. Welcome, Fat Hedonist. Welcome, welcome. All right. I do like that they switched up the design of the extruder mount. It now prints, it used to print a ton on support. And is Beacon Contact a hardware or software revision? It is purely software update. Beacon Contact is purely software update. So everybody who already has a beacon will be able to use Beacon Contact. That's one of the things I love about it, is that they're not making you buy a new probe to use it. If you have the original beacon, it's what, Beacon H and Beacon... Yeah, Beacon H and Beacon D. Robot Overlord, welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's pretty cool that they did not restrict it. So this is a Beacon H, which has the accelerometer built into it. But Beacon D, which doesn't have the accelerometer, that's what I'm going to put on my 2.4. I have a D floating around here somewhere. that will also work with it. So that's sick. I love that they are bringing that feature to everybody and not making folks buy. Like, they could very easily just say, oh, it's not backwards compatible, or make it not backwards compatible. I'm sure through some trickery, you know? Like, they could do that. I'm sure, if they really wanted to get to it. But they didn't. You know. Now, granted, somebody might have unlocked it and then called them out for doing that, or blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Does Eddie have an ADXL? No, Eddie does not have an ADXL. I don't believe. I don't believe Eddie has an ADXL. Why are you not threading through there? Ah! The M3 screws are fighting me to get through here for the extruder mounting. Have 2 Eddie probes? It does not. Yeah, I didn't think it did. Cool thing about Eddie, I think the coolest thing about Eddie, personally, is that it can be used. There are different versions for the different ones, but it can be used for USB connection, CAN connection, or I2C connection. I believe you have to buy one of those 3. So, yeah. Theoretically, the Rev H ADXL will be more precise because it's closer to the nozzle. Yes, theoretically. I'm always of the opinion that, like, people say, you know, toolhead ones, toolhead ADXLs are stupid because they're not as close to the nozzle. I say it's better than nothing, honestly. Like, I just use the ADXL if it's on the toolhead board on my stealth burner back there. It's fine. It does the job. You know, it works. That's what matters to me. All right. Eddy coil can be used with the EBB 36. Yeah, the I2C version can be used with EBB. The I2C version will be. Chasing zeros in 3D printing is not that necessary, IMO. Honestly, that's kind of the thing. You know, if you want to be, like, as good as you possibly can, sure. Toolhead ADXL is better in finding ADXL and connecting it. I mean, yeah. I tried using a nozzle probe one of the ones that threaded into the nozzle on that machine, and honestly, I got terrible results with it. One of the Big Tree Tech ones, the SI2DW or something like that. I got terrible results from it. It just, like, it did not work well. And so I ditched it and went, you know, and just kept using the toolhead one that the toolhead PCB one that I already used. All right, one screw into this, and then we are assembled our toolhead. I could put it on the machine, but as I said, can't wait for the Soval SV08 to come out. Cheap Voron is the right word. You know, I'm how do I put it? I'm somewhat impressed with the Soval. Wannabe Voron is the right word. It's fine. I think it's got a lot of potential. Stream before this, Sunday, this past Sunday, I unboxed the SV08 on stream. So you can go check that out if you want. And see more about it. But I want to play with it more. I'm impressed they released the full CAD. I mean, technically they had to release the full CAD. They would have caught a hell of a lot of flack if they didn't. I didn't get an SV08 enclosure. Yeah. Because it's based on the Voron 2.4, they kind of had to release the CAD. So it's one of those, like, good guy, Soval, you did what you're supposed to do. Back from the hackerspace, now to Mandic Stream to unwind. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Dream Factory. Hope you had a good day. Yeah, that Donut Cat, that mainboard fan is so annoying on that thing. That thing is awful. I gotta replace that with a Nocto as well. I want to put a couple of fans in there. I gotta play with the CAD file. They can't seem to keep these machines in stock. I think they just really haven't launched it fully yet. Did you already edit the config? I haven't touched it since stream. I've been busy cleaning the studio. Honestly, my entire week up till this stream has been my taxes and looking for a place to live in Portland. That's been my week. So I haven't done a damn thing other than and clean the studio. I need to film the 24 volt A410 comes with an adapter that goes right in. Cool. I'm running those on the Cookie CAD V0. What was I looking for? I'm going to be filming a shop tour. I need to film a studio tour so I can start packing. Ruby was on me about outside Portland. We're not going to be living in Portland. It's going to be the suburbs around Portland. We're not going to be in Portland. Yeah, Ruby wanted me to start packing, and I was like, I need to film a studio tour because I've never done a studio tour here, and I need to film that before I pack everything into a box, and it doesn't look like the studio anymore, so I gotta find time to do that. Okay, here we go. Here is our experimental pre-release ZOL with cat ears, with 100% more cat ears. So there is the tool head for the HotRod Trident as it's going to be. Obviously, I need to clean up the wiring. I'm going to be running... Uh-oh. My monitor just flickered for a second. Hope that's not an indication of a problem. So I'm going to be running an EBB 36, or I'm hoping that LDO comes out with the Nighthawk 36 before I get this machine up and running, honestly. I'm really hoping they'll come out with that soon. I gotta hit up Jason and bug him about that because I would really like to run that on this build. We shall see, though. Portland's not as bad as the media makes it out to be. I agree in my limited experience with it. So, okay. There is our Meow ZOL with the pre-release ZOL. God, this thing feels really good. The pre-release experimental ZOL really does feel so much nicer than the multi-part one. Like, it feels more solid. There's less hardware putting it together. I am impressed with the way this is going together and turning out. And it crashed. You spoke too soon, Dream Factory. You spoke too soon. What extruder is that? That is the VZ Hextrudort. That is VZ Hextrudort from Mello. The VZBot team, it's their version of the Havort extruder. So it's a CNC aluminum version of that. A little top heavy on this, but yeah. Is pre-release ZOL one piece? Yes. Pre-release ZOL is, well, here it is. This is pre-release ZOL. Yep, pre-release ZOL, and then there's the original, or actually this is one of the earlier ZOLs. It's missing one of the cutouts. But yeah. So there's the difference, comparison. You know, you had these separate ducts. You had to thread together and everything to put it together. And this seems a lot nicer. Seems a lot nicer to me. Will ZOL fit V0? No. It's way too big for a V0. It's much wider than a V0 would have fit. Maybe one of the printers for ants where you got a little extra space around the bed, but yeah. Did you print with 0.4mm nozzle and 0.1mm layer height? Yes. I did 0.1mm layer height and a 0.4mm nozzle. I found that really got a better result. 0.2mm layer height worked, but 0.1 turned out better, in my opinion. And honestly, for like ducts, I usually print part cooling ducts at lower layer heights. There's a lot of overhangs. The overhangs on the ZOL, the experimental pre-release ZOL, the overhangs on it were a little aggressive at 0.2 millimeter layer height and had some issues. 0.1 really helped them not have to bridge as much, and it turned out so much better. Did you see someone made a carriage mount for the switch wire for ZOL? No, I didn't see that. That's cool. I'm running the, the Vitali carriage, which I should show you folks. I have shown this in stream before, but let's just check it out again. If you're not familiar, Vitali is on Instagram now. Screen share. Bloop. Vitali is on Instagram now, and I've got these new parts on the way. Whipped up a anodized blue carriage for me, and yeah. So, yep. And now I gotta wait for that to show up before I put the tool head on the machine. There's always something. I really, really appreciate that he's making that, and I'm like, don't want to look gift horse in the mouth, but I'm like, oh, now I gotta take the machine apart again and put that on. Oh darn, what a horrible first world problem I have. Are the mounting points for extruders, Hextrudor, Shark Thingy, and etc. the same, standard, or are there different ones? There's a couple of different mountings, and with the ZOL, there's different top hat things. These, so like this part that the extruder is mounted to up here is interchangeable for different designs. So like these, I think this, I'm pretty sure the VZ Hextrudor, Maker Viking, welcome, welcome. VZ Hextrudor, I forget what it shares bolt pattern with. LGX. I think it shares a bolt pattern with LGX Lite. Then you've got a couple of them that use the Micro Sherpa bolt pattern. Like there's various bolt patterns for extruders, but that's why there's different adapters. Ah. All right, we got ZOL together. Tim, hello from Kansas. Welcome into the chat. Welcome into the stream. Thank you for being here. Nizo, welcome. All right, where are we at? All right, all right, all right. Now I got to start messing with the electronics box on this thing, which sounds way more exciting than it's gonna be, unfortunately. Let me clear this stuff off the bench. I'll keep the extruder up here, or the hot end up here, just so we can talk about it, show it. Ooh. Fabrico listed pre-orders for G2Z XL this morning. Gonna be rebuilding. Ooh, that is intriguing to me. I've really been interested in G2Z XL. I've been quite curious about that. Exciting sparks. No, I was being error. I was being sarcastic. What is G2Z XL? If you're familiar with G2Z, G2Z is the Galileo 2 Z-axis mod. So it uses planetary gears. It uses planetary gears with a single motor drive for gear reduction for G2Z. Okay, G2Z XL has larger gears for bigger gantries, so Voron 2.4s. G2Z is not recommended for like a Voron 2.4 or a belted Trident because it's too much weight on the Z-axis and they'll sag, or they have really solid potential to sag. G2Z XL is a larger, heavier gear reduction unit for use on bigger machines, so your Voron 2.4s. G2Z is for the Micron, yes. So lighter weight, smaller gantry. So G2Z XL is the update for bigger machines, like 2.4s. My ultimate 2.4 build I would like to do, I don't have any of the stats or info on G2Z XL. Well, let's look on Fabrico. Bearded Bucket said that they are, pre-orders are up on Fabrico, so let's look. G2Z XL, does it have any specs? $40 a pop. All right. Screen share. G2Z XL, Galileo per corner. Are you going to Murph? No, I will not be at Murph. G2Z XL. Does it have any of the info? No, not yet. Is it on? Nope. I saw it on Discord. I saw it on Discord, so that's where I became aware of G2Z XL. But yeah, so I would look on the Galileo 2 Discord on the Voron team, the Voron Discord. Is Micron basically a mini 2.4? Yes. Micron is effectively a mini 2.4. Kinda. Sort of. Yes. It's one of HeartK's projects making a mini printer for ants. Okay. Electronics panel. Holy overexposed. Electronics panel. Here's the fun of this. I keep putting off working on the electronics of this build because I need to tap this. Or a 2.4 is a big micron. Okay, fair. I need to tap all the holes in this. And I keep putting it off, and I don't get to it. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to break out the tap, and we're going to chat while I tap a whole bunch of holes. I'm sorry. It's going to be kind of boring, probably. But it's got to get done so I can get electronics mounted to this. Hopefully it goes fairly quickly. But that's what I got to do. Will I 3D print a cat collar microphone for Jean? That is a very cute idea. Ooh, that gives me a really good idea. That gives me a really good idea for her upcoming cat bed. Maybe I'll put a little purring microphone, like a little microphone in there just to pick up her purring. So when we have like a Jean cam, if she's purring, you folks will hear it. That's a cute idea. John, welcome in. You've never done tapping. Curious to watch. Don't worry, I'll probably screw it up since you folks are watching. Chuck tap and drill. Yes, no. I really don't want to risk it. That could be bad if Jean gets a hairball. You're not wrong. I don't want to risk it. Is that a Half-Life shirt? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm using some of my favorite tap lubricant, Rapid Tap. And now I just got to tap a whole bunch of holes. These are all laser cut holes. I hope they're the right size. I haven't checked them yet. We're going to find out. So when tapping, the goal is to keep it as straight, 90-degree perpendicular to the material you're tapping. And not do that. Not let it twist. Yay. That's it. Run it through. Make sure it's good and through. As long as they're the right size, they're the same size. Yeah. Sponsored by Rapid Tap. Yeah, I wish. I wish. Not that I go through that much Rapid Tap. I've had the same bottle for years, and I was a fabricator. So, yeah, that seemed like the size was pretty solid. But this is not a fluted, like a drill tap. If I had a drill tap... Oh, wait. I do have a drill tap. 1 second. Let me check if I got a drill tap on hand. If I do, maybe we will run it that way. Real quick. I do have a drill tap. What's running on tap today? The electronics in this. Drill tap, much better. Okay, so drill tap. Anybody who's not familiar, a drill tap is a drill bit that has tap flutes around it, like the threading around it. So it's meant to be run in through a drill. And yeah. My daughter has been watching YouTube videos on cat owners. This one guy built an awesome catio enclosed area with small tree, beds, climbing areas. Looked fun. Would that be error? My favorite YouTuber, Philip Bloom. Philip Bloom. He's got a second cat channel because he's got 7 cats. He's a filmmaker. He's got a catio. One of the projects we were supposed to do on Mandic Really was build a full catio. Using the alley where I put all the Christmas lights up. I was going to turn that into a whole catio where the cats could go outside. They go out there anyway, but it's kind of boring for them. I was going to like make shelves and stuff on the wall so they could like climb and lay on the wall on like beds out there and stuff. But since we're moving, can't do that. So, or at least it would be silly to do that since we're moving. All right. Drill tap. This ought to go a lot easier. Not him, but his catio looks awesome too, yeah. The new house, wherever we land, I do want to do a catio build. Got to see, you know, if the house is right for it or whatever, but solid potential we'll do a catio build and like do some 3D printed stuff. Like maybe 3D print like cat tree that looks like a tree or something. I don't know. Especially once I get the bigger machines going, we might have some serious options for fun. Is that too loud on stream? Let me know if that's if the drill running is an annoying sound, because that's going to be so much easier. Obviously, you watched me do one by hand, and now this, that's a clear difference. Not annoying. Cool. Awesome. I don't want to do much without cleaning out the gunk from the threads, especially from the flute here, so I don't get aluminum binding up. I saw a thing that said based on age. I saw a thing that said you should have a cat based on age. 22, cat 33. I'm pushing 40. Keep going. All right, cool. I'm pushing 40, so I'm not mad about that rule. Yes, the drill will pull down at its own rate. You're not trying to force it because it's got to bite into the threads and continue down the threading. So effectively, once it starts, as long as you get it started good and straight, it will pull itself down with the drill tap. I'm not a big fan of drill taps. I don't use them often because I'm usually more worried about the precision of my screws. But since this is literally just light duty, you know, it's only 3mm aluminum I'm threading into, it's not that big of a deal. But I am letting the drill do the work of pulling it down. You can easily break these off, believe me. That's why I didn't remember that I had these, because my M5 is broken right now. Because I used it tapping extrusions on my Mercury 1 build and broke it off in an extrusion. Which these are like super cheap Amazon drill taps. So that's part of the problem. You're at 50% of your cat allocation. You got to step it up. Got to step that up. John, thank you for stopping by. Always appreciated. Thank you for the support, and thanks for hanging out in chat. Appreciate you being here. breaking a bit can be a nightmare. Breaking a tap is an absolute nightmare. It's really hard to get out. Because you also have to fight the threading that it just created, putting it in there. Total nightmare. In case you can't tell, Fuzzy Tomato Head, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here, as always. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, breaking taps is not fun. Breaking taps in things that you still need to use is very not fun. If you can throw away the part, it's not so big of a deal. Not so big of a deal then. Let me change the other camera angle here. All right, let's see if we can get a closer view of this action here. Drill tapping. Drill tap action. Cool. Broke one off in the cylinder head, but luckily it ended up as basically an expensive grub screw. Can't argue with that. Broke a tap in a Honda head. Oof, yeah. Yeah, no fun. I leave for 10 minutes and we're machine shop now. Yep. Yep. We're playing machine shop. Gotta tap my electronics panel, you know, nothing weird. Just gotta tap my electronics panel, don't you? This is not a, I think this is like page 362 of the LDO manual, right? As I wiggle that. Like I'm trying to break a tap. Thought you said you wouldn't use tap. Touche. Touche. This is the tap I'm using. How many F-bombs if you break that drill bit? Let's not go there. Honestly, it won't be a difficult one to get out. So I don't think I'll be too broken up about it. I don't think that would break me up too much. If you break a tap, does that mean you're screwed? Ha, ha, ha. Not enough likes. I never pay attention to the likes well enough. I should probably pay attention to that stuff. I'm kind of a bad streamer sometimes. All right. I have a problem with being a bad streamer, I feel like. Speaking of which, for those who are coming in later here, for those who stopped in later, if you're not aware, next, just added a like, thank you. Next Wednesday, I will be streaming with Daniel, Modbot. Modbot Army, his streaming channel. We will be streaming our Milo builds together, starting off anyway. So close. We're over halfway. I put too many holes in this. What was I thinking? I was thinking I wanted to cable manage the heck out of this. power tapping with a 12 volt 3-0 bolt. It's a drill tap. When is the move? Unknown. Unknown. We gotta find a place first. Unknown. Hopefully sooner rather than later. It's really holding me up content-wise. Inverted electronics. Yes, this is going to be inverted electronics. All the electronics will be mounted down to this panel. What are we tapping? The deck. It's the bottom of the electronics box. So, bottom of the electronics box. Like the smash button. Why move? We're going to move to be closer to my father-in-law. My father-in-law is aging, and my wife wants to spend more time with him while she can. She's worried she would kick herself if she didn't spend more time with him, so we're moving to be closer. I live in Portland. Nice to see more 3D printer peeps. Cool. Yeah, and honestly, like, I think Portland will be a good fit for me, and I'm looking forward to like checking it out and learn, you know. I think it could be good for me in a lot of ways. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to being close to Joel, 3D printing nerd, up in Seattle. Where are you now? Philadelphia, PA. The problem is that I'm too close to West 3D. I'm looking forward to being able to just go over to West 3D and pick up stuff. That's probably a problem, but for the moment, I'm looking forward to that problem. I'll regret it, I'm sure. Soon TM, yes. The problem is finding a place. We're having a hell of a time finding a place. Like, finding a place that has a big enough garage to function as my studio. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. You know. Next to impossible. Come to England. My wife has dual citizenship. Or kind of could have dual citizenship. Ruby's actually first generation. Ruby is first generation immigrant, and her dad is from Wales, and her mom is sorry, that was offensive. Her mother is Welsh, and her father is Scottish. Got it backwards. How dare I? So we have. We did the big no-no. At least I didn't say they're British. I didn't say that. That would have been the big no-no. But so we have chatted, like, especially during COVID, we definitely chatted about the idea of leaving. But Adrian Digital Basement lives in Portland, I think. Not familiar with that channel. I'll have to check it out. I mean, Autodesk is in Portland. You know, Fusion, the CAD the CAD software I use. Right over in Vancouver, Washington is Protopasta. Then up in Seattle is 3D Printing Nerd and It's Boy in Space. Linus Tech Tips is in Vancouver, Canada. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that could be really solid for me. Repcord, Pooch, is in Northern California. Daniel, Modbot, is in Idaho, I think Idaho. Which is a lot closer to Portland than I realized. He was the one who informed me that he's a lot closer than I thought he was. No, Daniel left California. Modbot left California. Seattle, Nintendo, and Microsoft, yeah. Pooch, Steve Builds, yep, is Northern California too. Someone say LTX? Yeah, sadly. Sadly, no more of that. Would have been nice to be close for that, but... yeah, he used to be in California. All right, we are down the home stretch. Only a handful more holes left. What? No more LTX? Yeah, though they announced they're not going to do LTX again. At least not this year for sure. No LTX this year, if ever again. It's basically a who knows, may never happen again. They decided it was just way too much work and too much stress on everybody involved to keep doing it. And I do not blame them. I do not blame them. Yeah, and I, like, as I walked around that show, I said it, like, I had a quick chat with, Ruby and I had a quick chat with Yvonne, after the show closed, just saying, like, how in awe we were of, like, the scale of everything they do. It's insane. We were like, kudos to you, like, this is insane, thank you for having us, like, it's crazy. And then they decided they're not going to do it anymore, and I said, ah, that makes sense. Drove from SoCal to there, loved it, but don't recommend it. Yeah. I love events like that, like, especially that where it was kind of low. That event was especially low stress for me, which I really appreciated. You know, something like Rocky Mountain or Earth, or even if I make it to Murph or whatever, I've got obligations. LTX, like, people knew me at LTX, but a lot didn't, and it kind of just was great in a lot of ways. All right, and we are tapped. That was so much easier. Thank you, whoever recommended I drill tap it, which reminded me I had drill taps. So that went a lot easier than I expected this was going to. Now I just got to clean up the tap gunk off of here. One day up, one day down, fun solo drive. Hey, that's not so bad. So you're a pretty big deal, people know you. Yes, I'm a huge deal. The Leo in me wishes to say I'm a big deal. Whatever. All right. Some gunk off of here. Ruby would call out the fact that I'm a Leo or something and tell me that I'm something about, you know, something about my need for attention or whatever. I always tell her if there was any way I could make YouTube videos and not have to get attention. I know that's a very paradoxical statement, but yeah. LTT uploaded a video where they 3D printed custom tubes for liquid cooling. You may want to check it out. I'll watch it tonight. I usually watch LTT with Ruby at dinner. I need noise during dinner. I can't stand people chewing, so we watch YouTube while we eat dinner, and we often watch LTT. She likes watching LTT with me, so. It's cool, but kind of meh. That's kind of what I expected is going to be the case, but I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. So, all right. We're tapped. Oh, I got to clean this side up now, too. Resin print for water tubing. Interesting. Interesting. I gotta play with sillier applications of printing like that. There's a lot of silly ways one could go about doing printing stuff. I gotta play with a lot more of those. That'll be the goal when we get settled in the new studio. just do silly stuff for the sake of doing silly stuff. All right, now I'm going to very quickly use a countersink bit and just like hit the top of all of these so they're chamfered inward a little bit. I tapped them from the backside actually. Not particularly on purpose, but nothing wrong with it. All right. This should make it easier for the bolts to thread in. Have a starting chamfer to thread into, help guide them. M3 screws, that is. Isn't that how Lockpicking Lawyer makes his videos? What did I miss? How's that? I'm also deburring the holes that were laser cut because why not while I'm here? Why not? You know what? I think I'm actually looking at the bottom side of this now to really look. Yep. Oh well. Chamfer the holes anyway. Alright. Okay. Now when I'm really looking at this, I can see, because I did actually put a DIN rail mount point on here. Everything's better with chamfers. Absolutely. I agree. I am a very big proponent of chamfering things and deburring. Honestly, I would like to deburr this, but I don't have time for that right now. I will yet, but not on stream. That's the noise. That'll be firing up the air compressor and a grinder. So, yeah, looking at it, I designed it so right here is going to be actually I think that might be M4 threads for tapping. I got to double check what I intended there. There'll be a DIN rail mount here, the 2 power supplies. We'll get the power supplies on in a second. 3D printer go burr, yeah. We can get the power supplies mounted up and maybe the Leviathan mounted up, and you can get a good idea of where we're at here. It's going a lot quicker than I expected, so we might get a little more done than I expected too. Come on. Few more. All right. Yeah. So many. Steve, welcome in. Welcome in, Steve. Just in time to watch me chamfer a whole bunch of holes. All right. Now we can mount the power supplies, I think. I think these are supposed to be tapped for either M4 or M5. Looks like M5. Yep. All right. I'll deal with that later. There's supposed to be there's a short section of DIN rail that I'm putting over here. There'll be a short section of DIN rail right here for a terminal block setup because the power supplies are going to be right here. So it'll come right out of the power supply, or AC line voltage will come in, go into a terminal block, and then break out to the 2 power supplies. So, yeah. I think this needs to get painted, and that will come after I get this full layout out. I'm thinking I'm going to paint this gray. The areas where the power supplies are going to be and the SSR will mount over here will be bare so that they can heat transfer into this plate. But I don't know. I feel like the raw aluminum, and it's also like scuffed up. It's been deburred, sanded, but I don't think it's great. Power supplies. Do you cut that yourself? Nope. Send, cut, send. Send, cut, send did it for me. Woo! Especially because I had them laser cut the holes too for all the mounting points to save myself a lot of trouble. It means that I'm locked into my layout that I designed months ago, but I'm not worried about that. Okay. All right, get some M3s in here. So that I can put these power supplies down. I think I could probably use M3x6s for this. I should design my own 3D printer. I mean, you can do it. It's a lot of work, but it can be done quite clearly. That's not AC. This is that away. Just ask Steve. He can help you. No, I'm sure he can't. But he can tell you how much work it is to create a finished product. Well, there's a factor. Do you want to create your own 3D printer, or do you want to release a design for your own 3D printer? Those are two totally different things. I want a 3D printer to install in my server rack. I used to have an Ender 3 in my server rack. I used to keep an Ender 3 in there. And I think when I set up the new studio, it will have a different home. It will have a different, I don't know. It might be a more central part of the studio, I think, and factor in within putting a printer in it. Yeah. Very good point. Yeah. Like Reanimaker, my design of converting the MakerBot replicator into Core XY, like, I just released the files and I told everybody it's on you. You know, like, I've got no instructions, I don't have a BOM, any of that. Like, here it is, here's the step files, have fun. Because creating a manual and a BOM and everything that goes with actually supporting a full open source project, forget it. For me, anyway. No, as a single, like, just me taking that on, nope. And that was only a conversion of a machine, not a full build. All right. So now we got our power supplies mounted. We got 48 volt and 24 volt. I actually don't know. This is the 48, that's the 24. Whatever. So motor power and then the rest of the main board and such, of course. $300 for customs from ordering from PCBWay. I'm not looking forward to what the new tariffs are going to do. I don't know if they're going to affect ordering from like PCBWay or what. Curious. So I think you can see the concept now. All these threaded holes in this plate are going to make mounting directly to this aluminum plate. And now these power supplies have a whole aluminum plate to dissipate heat into as well. as will the SSR for the bed. Never had to pay customs from them before. Donald did say it was a fairly large order. Maybe that's a particular part of why. All right, and now I've got some standoffs around here that the Leviathan is going to mount on. How many watts are these power supplies? They are 200 watts each. They're only 200 watts each, but that's all it really needs. You know, the bed is on. I mean, the 48 volt one is only powering the A and B motors, so that's 200 watts just for the A and B motors. And then the 24 volt one is then doing, you know, main board, electronics. Did you put Loctite on them? No, because they're going to be coming back off. I'll put some thermal compound between them and the plate before I like final install them. This is kind of just mock-up. When I'm doing wiring, things go together and come apart a dozen plus times. So like, this is only mock-up. One. I gotta find the standoffs that I have for the Leviathan board. I don't know what I did with them at the moment. Nope, that's USB. That's belt. Heat sinks. Hardware for some reason. Oh, that's all hardware. Where did I put the aluminum standoffs that I got? Joshua, welcome. Let's see if I put them in one of these boxes. That's what happens when I straighten up. I straighten up and I lose everything. That's chains. That is of no use to me. Cable kit. Nope. How dare this actually be what it's labeled as? I've got a standoffs around here somewhere for this. There's the SSR. That goes right there. Whole bunch of LDO PCBs and such that I'm not going to be using. Here's some hardware. No, I don't see the standoffs. I got standoffs for this. I just don't know where I put them. The Leviathan board, the LDO Leviathan board is going to mount right here on this board. And there's some standoffs for where it's going to mount. I also got the tiny fan board I got to find a home for. Oh, I forgot I got the, I did get the 12,000 RPM fans for the XOL. So I'll use those for the other tool head I'll put together. I got the tiny PCB. I didn't figure the tiny fan board into the original setup. AP Design a Machine, welcome, welcome. I didn't figure the tiny fan board into my original design, so I already have to shift things a little bit because I need more fan inputs for this thing, or more fan outputs, really. The Leviathan, I like a lot of things about the the look, at least, of the Leviathan. I haven't run it yet, so I don't know long term. I like a lot of things I see here, but it doesn't have enough fan ports for my build anyway. There's going to be a lot of fans in this build, so that's not really on them so much. You know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 fans are going to be in this build. So I don't remember if that's all, but At least 8. So, yeah. Get a splitter PCB. Yeah, but I want to be able to control them individually. So what I got is a tiny fan board from Shammy. XR bunker. Tiny fan board. So it uses the little RP 2040 wave share board. Takes 5 volt and 24 volt input into it. And so you can use it for 24 volt, 12 volt, and 5 volt fans. It can do 4-pin, 4-wire PWM fans. It can do 3-wire fans, and of course 2-wire fans. So between this and the Leviathan board, I have all the ports I need. I just got to wire this up now. So that does mean that I, 2 things that this build didn't originally include, UHP power supplies, yes. 2 things this build didn't originally include that I'm now including is a 5 volt power supply to go with the tiny fan board, and then the tiny fan board. I'm thinking I might make like a mount that like stacks them on top of each other right here. Something like this. I'm thinking maybe something like that. Undecided yet. It's probably going to be somewhere around here. It's kind of a dead space in the enclosure. Just got to wire this up now. That's all. Just got to wire it up. No big deal to build a complete custom harness for this. Are the Leviathan fans individually addressed voltages or tied together? I don't know exactly what you mean. They are individually controllable, and they can be either set to 12 volt or 5 volt individually. You can set each fan port to its own voltage. So if you want to run 5 volt or 12 volt, or 24 volt, not 12 volt, 5 or 24 volt, you can. Yeah. Let me see where the heck I put these standoffs. I know I got them. There's not what I'm looking for. Here's some standoffs. It's not the ones I was looking for, though. Damn it. I might have misplaced them. Ay, ay, ay. I'm going to end up ordering more standoffs just to mount the Leviathan. That's frustrating. That's what happens when I have too many builds going at once. Cheetah Kid, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Now, where the heck did I put... Standoff, standoff, standoffs. I don't see where the heck I put any of the standoffs. I got 10mm M3 standoffs. I got 10mm tall M3 standoffs to mount this here. And I don't see them anywhere. They're here somewhere, but yeah. The Leviathan board will mount right here like this. Johnny, welcome, you're back. But for the moment, there it is. That's where it's going to be. Missed all the tapping fun. Yeah, well, I don't know how much fun it was. I might as well get the SSR mounted on here. It certainly wasn't riveting. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. Ah, dang it. Put that backwards. All right. I knew I should have looked for those standoffs before the stream. I knew it. I knew I would have trouble finding them. Well, there's where the SSR mounts. So, SSR deserved more authentic laughs. Yeah, if I wasn't stressed about the standoffs, maybe I would have had it. Maybe I could have mustered that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. That was a solid dad joke in the chat here. All right. I'm also going to be running... I am also going to be running this silly little thing. This is a M.2 SSD housing from Charge. So a little M.2 SSD housing that I'm probably going to mount somewhere like over here, I think. Probably mount it like right here. And that's what I'm going to boot Clipper off of. It takes a standard little 2232 SSD. Is it 2230 or 2232? Whatever. One of those tiny little M.2 SSDs. It's going to go in here. It's actually got a fan on here too. It's like a freaking 10-15 millimeter fan. Let me measure. It's like a 16 millimeter fan inside of there. Little tiny fan. Could you use the BTT Pi? Has a spot. Yeah, I could. You're right. I don't know if it would clear. It probably would clear on the Leviathan. But I've got this Pi 4 with the... Isn't that the new end of the world? Yeah, it's the most adorable little fan. I'm just hoping it lasts. Like, not like it really needs a fan, you know? It'll help, I guess. It's also going to have the fans blowing across the entire electronics box. This heatsink on the Pi 4 just matches this build so freaking nicely, though. So, that'll be good. Okay, what else here? Then this power supply, the 5-volt power supply, and the tiny board will get over here, tiny fan board. I believe these will end up here-ish. Should probably go like that because the USB cord. Now, it's one giant heatsink. The plate, not the one. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a big heatsink for all this stuff. I wish Raspberry Pis use black PCBs, as do I. I wish there was a black PCB version of the Pi. Agreed. You know what? I didn't make any, like, because originally this 5-volt power supply wasn't going to go in here. Here's a fun thing I can do. I think this 5-volt power supply is going to end up, like, right here. But there's no holes there. So I could do a lot of things to mount this. I could make brackets that use some of these holes and hold it down. But to help it heat transfer into this plate, I think what I might do is make something that mounts to the holes around here. Duct tape. Yeah. I might make something that mounts to these holes that'll then give me the drill locations for the mounting holes for this power supply so that I can drill and tap this accurately and get this right where I want it. I think I will do that. I'll probably design up a mount that'll put those so I can center punch them right where they need to be and drill them and then mount this to here as it should be or needs to be. Why do you need the 5-volt power supply? The only reason I need it is because of this, the tiny fan PCB. Tiny fan PCB is where a lot of my fans for this build are going to break out off of for fan controlling, because there's not enough ports on the Leviathan board for my build. Oh, and RGB. Actually, yes, I probably will run some RGB off of this too, because this will have some RGB. I'm going to have electronics boxes going to be lit with RGB. It's going to be lit, yo. Anyway, so this needs 5-volt for the RP2040 processor. I don't think I'm going to be running any 5-volt fans, so I could probably get away without supplying it 5-volt, except that it needs power. Though I think it might power over USB. I talked to Shammy about it. I forget. I just decided to run the 5-volt. Oh, it's for the RGB. That's why. RGB needs 5-volt. I'm going to be timid about it, you know. Need an extra power supply just for my RGB to make the machine go faster. Only you can make dad jokes. I'm a dad to Gene. So. All right. So with layouts going, that's the bulk of the layout. All the rest of these holes that are in this are for cable management, realistically. The rest of these are for cable management. I'm going to design up some cable management points all around here just to keep the wiring like as neat as I can, because it's going to have a clear top. I've already got it. Clear top for the inverted electronics box. Yeah, it mounts like that. It'll be like that. So, clear top electronics box. And yeah, time to get the magnetic hoops. Won't be much use. Aluminum. So, print some channels. I don't like channels. I will be a little more intentional about it than channels. It's going to be like custom wire lengths and everything, probably sleeved on almost everything. You'll see when we get there. I don't know if I'm going to stream that portion just because wire combs. Yeah, something more like wire combs is kind of where we're at. You cut clear plexiglass. I send cut send, but yes. It is a clear plexi panel, acrylic panel for the top of the electronics box. But I had send cut send. Send cut send cut this when they cut the bottom panel for me. So, yeah. That's also got clearance. Clearly this is not standard inverted electronics box. So like, you can see these cutouts here are for the auxiliary part cooling. Wax lacing cord zip tie versus zip ties, that we can get crazy with things. So like there's a lot of differences about the way I designed this, modified it, made more clearance because it's going to have dual auxiliary part cooling that it needed clearance for, and I wanted a little additional clearance for getting it out of here. So should etch your logo in. Maybe I could do that on the P2. I could do that. So why does everyone use acrylic for 3D printers? Why not glass? Weight and expense. Custom cut glass is just not cheap. You know, computer case manufacturers use tempered glass these days because they're doing like volume and they can get away with it. And also they can get stuff direct in China that makes it a lot easier for them. I would love to do more glass on builds. It's just expense as much as anything, and shipping and all that. See Uncle Jesse with the K1. Yeah, then there's that. There's also the fact of there's a point of like a computer. You build a computer and that's that. 3D printer, you're working on it all the time. By the nature of a 3D printer, you're going to be working on it all the time. So like a lot more chances to break glass. Wish we could get genuine glass 3D printer door. I mean, I'm really tempted to put glass in the click-clack door when I do, because like it's not crazy to get tempered glass cut. It can be done for not crazy amounts. You can get custom cut glass reasonably. Acrylic also isolates heat better. That's reasonable. The click-clack door for the Voron 2.4, I've been tempted to like maybe try getting glass cut for that. I don't know. Why not? We'll see. Maybe. It's iron-free glass that's expensive. I don't know enough about glass. So, alright. There's the beginning of the layout of the electronics box. I want to do more work outside before I put it in there. Any benefit of acrylic versus PC? Acrylic's cheaper than PC, but that's about it. Polycarbonate's better thermal resistance, stronger, I believe. It's just more expensive. So, if you're doing like a heated chamber, you should really run polycarbonate, not acrylic. Got a dual pane acrylic panel set from KB3D for your click-clack. That's what I'm going to do on, not on this build. I'm not going to bother with dual pane on this one. But the next 2.4 I'm doing is getting a heated chamber, so that I'm going to do dual pane on with click-clack. So the next one, well, it's not going to be click-clack because it's actually a Doom cube. So it's going to be Doom door? I don't know. Acrylic is also not very chemically resistant. Yeah, there's definitely some chemical stains on the dual doors on my 2.4. So, Yeah. What size will the next 2.4 be? It will be... the next 2.4 will be a 300 as well. It's going to be 300 on X and Z, but I've got a 350 frame... Or, I'm sorry, X and Y. But Z, I've got a 350 frame for it. I'm not going to use that for full 350, but to get a true 300 at least out of it. So, it's a 300. Honestly, it came down to what I've just landed on having a bunch of 300s. I chose a 300 when I built my 2.4, and then the Trident. I actually wanted this Trident that we're building right now. I wanted this Trident to be a 250. When I set out to build it, I wanted this to be a 250, and then LDO sent me a 300 cube kit. Can't look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank you, LDO, for providing the 300 cube kit that we started with for this build. And then the other 2.4, that I'm going to be building actually came from a kit that I got from Joel, 3D Printing Nerd. When Joel and I built his 2.4, when Joel and I built his 2.4, he had another 2.4 kit that was like missing pieces. So we started with a fresh kit, and he gave me the kit that was missing pieces. So that's the basis for my next 2.4 build. And it just happened to be a 300. Every rebuild I seem to have less Z. Yeah, that's fair. I'm using a 350 setup on that so I can get true 300Z, and also I'm going to mount the chamber heater up at the top. So I want extra Z height to be able to mount the chamber heater and not interfere with things. I see V-Core 4 parts. No, actually, these are my Milo parts. I don't think LDO even makes 250s anymore. They do, but I don't think they have them right now. I wonder, has Joel been doing anything with his 2.4? I have no idea. I haven't asked him about his 2.4 lately. Isn't the chamber heater better in the bottom since heat rises? Yes, it is. But where's there room in a 2.4 to put anything? Like, fitting a chamber heater at the bottom in a 2.4 is just not going to be easy. So much more room at the top. So I'm just going to use fans to circulate air as best I can. That's all I can do. Yes, I would much prefer it to be at the bottom, but the only way I could put it in the bottom is if I mounted it into a panel. But I'm going to insulate the chamber. It's getting a 40/40 frame with insulation all around, so like mounting it through and in the panel becomes a problem, and then I have to create a duct system to pull heat. It's a whole thing. Provoc 3D has a chamber heater mount for next to the bed. Maybe I'll look into that. Cut a hole in the panel. It's going to be custom panels anyway. Fan circulating heat will be more than good enough. That's what I'm anticipating. It's going to get... I'm going to use the Nevermore Stealth Max in that build in the back panel, which will circulate air through the chamber that way. It's going to have under bed fans. It's probably going to get a couple fans just to circulate air from the top downward. So, is there a specific chamber heater I'm using? Yes, I'm going to be using the chamber heater from a Cheedy X-Max. I got a spare one. It's 24 volt, 300 watt. So, that build I'm going to be using the chamber heater from a Cheedy X-Max, 24 volt, 300 watt. It's not going to be an 80C chamber. Like, it's not going to be a like peak printer. But I'm looking for like a good, consistent 60 to 80, hopefully, for like nylon and just really good quality ASA printing. So, the Provoc one is mains, yeah. I don't want to go crazy with it. I just want a really good, consistent warm chamber and one that I don't have to heat, or that I don't have to wait forever for it to heat up. You can hit 80C with that. I think between... It won't be peak, but it'll be peak. You are killing the dad jokes today. With the insulation and with the insulated chamber and that heater, I think 80C should be reasonable, doable. I wonder if they sell the chamber heater separately. They do. That's where I got it. I bought it off their website. I just bought it off their website. Let me see if I can pull it up quick. Yep, there it is. I'm not saying this is a great heater or great option, but are the gantry parts CNC? Yes, gantry will be full CNC on it. It's going to be CNC, high temperature rails, high temperature belts. 1 second. Dang it. I got metal shavings on my mouse pad. Am I going to run a separate or one big 24 volt? I'm going to run one big 24 volt power supply. Since it's a 300 watt power supply and I'm going to be running 48 volt motors, so the 200 watt standard power supply for 24 volts won't have to supply AV motor power. So I'm going to run a 500 watt 24 volt power supply and a 200 watt 48 volt power supply for the X and Y motors. So links. Paste. Get a short link. Copy. Okay. I will drop it in chat now. Bam. That is an affiliate link, but that is the chamber heater from Cheaty. Where's Jean? She's sleeping away under the desk. She's sleeping under the desk. I've got to get her new build. And looking to print the tool head fan ducts with high temperature stuff. No. Well, yes, but no. The tool head for that build, 1 second. Here's the tool head for that build. That build is getting this tool head. It is an MJF printed. It's the Bondtech MJF printed stealth burner. A little dark, sorry, but yeah. So this is going to be the tool head for that build. It's got the slice. Yeah, it's the slice Bondtech setup. So it's got a sliced Mosquito Magnum Plus, or whatever. The like big boy. The big boy and the Batman looking CPAP Bondtech housing with an LGX light in there. And a EBB 36 inside of here with a fan cooling it. So I say that's a stealth burner, but it can't hide from me. It looks hot. Yeah. I think it's going to look sick in this build, in that build. So that's what we're going to run. So that will be the tool head for the heated chamber 2.4 with a aluminum. I'm going to swap out to a Vitali carriage. This is one of the cheap AliExpress ones, but I'm going to get one of the Vitali CNC carriages. I have one here somewhere. With beacon probe. Oh! No. Ah, damn it. I thought these were the standoffs for a second. They're not. The tool head is ugly in just the right way. You are correct. Giving Zoll a run for the money with the ugliest tool head. Yep. I kind of like it. It's got a weird charm. Is Beacon Touch out? No, Beacon Touch is not out yet. Monolith tool head from Luke's Lab would probably be a good choice. Yes, you're not wrong. But I have this one, and this thing's expensive. So, you know, I want to run this. I want to play with it. I want to play with the Mosquito Magnum Plus, whatever the heck you call that thing. So that's what I'm going to run. And then I got a Vitali carriage for it. So I'll run the Vitali carriage instead of that cheapy one, but yeah, probably. Undecided. It's an industrial look. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to do since I can't find those damn... Oh, wait. Let me find one more thing. can't find. Damn it. There's a fan that mounts on here I designed. When in doubt, checks the box of random stuff. Yeah, I was looking for the fan that's supposed to mount. The fan that's supposed to mount onto this plate to cool the drivers. Which tool head was that? This is a stealth burner. This is a Bondtech stealth burner setup, but it's just a stealth burner. So this is just an MJF printed stealth burner for CPAP. So it uses CPAP cooling. Let me change the camera angle real quick. Alright. Switch camera angle so you can see this a little better. Yeah. That's the Bondtech Slice Engineering team up on a whole tool head. It's just a stealth burner modified for CPAP cooling. So it gets rid of the part cooling fan and just has a tube inlet for CPAP. Yeah. Yeah, understandable that would throw you off. But otherwise, it's just a stealth burner. A heck of a chunky stealth burner, but it's a stealth burner. They're under the aluminum plate, are they? No, they're not. And then recapping the XOL pre-release toolhead that we built on stream today for the Trident. This is what's going in the Trident. God, these things are so much different. Like, this is so much lighter than this. It's crazy. So crazy of a difference here. It looks sick. It looks sick. Like, it's a serious look. I'm not upset about that, but let me pull out the scale and check the weight difference. How is XOL different than Dragon Burner? More interchangeable, less boxy, compact, and lighter weight. The XOL's primary focus is lightweight. I love the cat ears, as do I. Very Gene. We had to bring Gene into this, you know? We had to bring Gene in. I gotta find a EBB 36 real quick. I have one here. But I have a lot of things here, but I don't know where they are right now. So, oh, there it is. There it is. EBB 36. Okay. EBB 36 and the XOL toolhead weighs 257 grams. Dragon Burner is lighter, but not as rigid. Okay. 257 grams for complete toolhead minus the carriage plate. I'll just use this stand-in carriage plate. It's not accurate, but where did I just put the other carriage plate? Right here. Alright. Vitali carriage plate, EBB 36, and XOL toolhead. 288 grams. 288 grams. This, which does have a CNC aluminum carriage plate, Mosquito Magnum Plus, and an EBB 36 in there. 471 grams. 471 grams. So 200 gram difference, 200 grams lighter on the XOL toolhead. But yeah, different strokes, different purposes, I guess. We'll see. We'll play around and see which I like better, you know. We shall see. I want to try different stuff, play around with some different stuff. So, all right, now that I have destroyed my workbench, stuff everywhere, I gotta design a mount for this. Does it have titanium screws? No, neither of them have titanium screws yet. So, neither of those is with titanium screws. You got work done on said bench. I mean, technically, I don't feel like I made it very far. We've got a tool head. We've got a tool head, and it's got cute cat ears. Like, what else could you really ask for, I guess? It's progress. It's progress. Now I got to clean up my progress. But I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up. bottom plate is tapped. We're ready to roll. I've got to find the standoffs for this. I got to find the standoffs for it. I got to make a mount for where the 5-volt power supply is going to go and where the tiny fan PCB is going to mount. And then I can really roll forward with this. I think once I do that, we'll probably be able to get it into the machine. And then hopefully by then the new carriage plate shows up from Vitali. I'm not going to stream that. I'm just going to swap the carriage plate over to the new anodized one that he's sending. And we can install the ZOL toolhead into this thing, and then we can really start wiring it. Thank you for humoring my possum puns. You are welcome. Thanks for always being a fun and active member of the chat, 94. This, you know, engaging is appreciated. Gives me something to talk about and people to talk to. Nothing is worse than chat where nobody talks. How does Beacon work over EBB 36? It doesn't. Beacon does not have a CAN connection. What I have is what I will be running is this wire. Do you have a link for that mini M.2? Yeah, give me a second. Error. Come on. Click, block, copy. I'll drop it in chat. Eddie does have a version that we'll work with. Eddie does have a... Oh yeah, Steve, you're going live at 8 usually, right? Are you going live tonight? Eddie does have a CAN bus version. What I'm going to be running on this is 3DO. 3DO makes this cable, or has this cable. No, it's Tuesday. Okay. 3DO has this cable, and this is what I'm going to be running. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera here. But it's a cable with, I think it's 8 conductors inside of here, and it's designed for USB and CAN. So there's enough conductors in here and shielding and everything that I can run CAN to the EBB and then split off and run a custom wired USB connection to the beacon with this. 3DO put this together, I think. Moji, welcome. Instead of they made this for their nozzle camera, so you could run CAN and their nozzle camera and not have to run 2 separate cables. But this is what I'm going to run for the umbilical for this build. So I'll just have one cable that splits out at the tool head and then in the electronics box for the 2 different CAN and USB connections. And yes, 94, the M.2 enclosure is because I'm going to boot off of that rather than an SD card. Moji, I'm all right. Tired, hungry, about time to go eat, but that cable's great, really flexible. Yeah, it's surprisingly flexible. So I think with some sleeving, it'll be a really good cable. Maybe I'll run a nylon tube with it. I am going to sleeve it. Yes, it will be sleeved. I've got a whole big box of cable sleeving just for this project. Yeah, so this will be sleeved. And also probably run a piece of nylon with it too to reinforce it because it's so flexible that I'd worry about it drooping. So yeah. Guitar string. That's a good idea, guitar string. Alright, folks. That's where we're going to wrap it up for this. I got to go eat something. And yeah. But we got some work done. We got our little Meowsall built. Meowsall is put together for this build. Adorable. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna... I don't think I'm going to put a sequin behind the paw print. I think I'm just going to put the printed part in there. And then just have the LEDs for the nozzle. I don't know. But that's where we're going to wrap it up for this one, folks. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate the support. Drop a like on your way out, maybe. Thank you to channel members for supporting the channel and helping me deal with the move and having to move to streaming a little more. I appreciate each and every one of you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Anybody who can't justify becoming a channel member, I understand, and I just appreciate you being here and engaging. Please maybe drop a like. It's free and it can help out too. All right, folks. That is it for this one. I appreciate you for being here, and I will catch you all in the next one. How many times can I say I appreciate you, folks? Many. Many. Not enough. So, thank you, and 1 second for the outro. See you folks next time, folks. See you folks next time, folks. You know what I mean.